Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. I'm back in my craft room. I'm so excited I get to actually be in my craft room again. After a long time of, doing the house, I'm now going to be doing crafts. So today I'm going to be making some gnomes. So I've got a pool noodle. I got this from Dollar Tree and their price is now $1.50. So I got pool noodle. I got some colorful socks here that I'm going to use. I'm going to make a girl and a boy. So these were these packs of socks. They're also from Dollar Tree. So it's the women's socks. You get 2 in a pack. I bought quite a few packs this morning. I couldn't find my bucket of socks I had, so I had to run out and grab some socks. So these also, the 2 pair for $1.50. Now there's a couple packs I bought, and there's a couple socks that I'm going to keep for myself, but the rest I'm going to make gnome bodies out of. So today I'm going to make the girl with the flowers and the boy with the green stripes. And because it is a pool kind of a gnome, I found these at Dollarama. These were also $1.50. I was looking for the little floater ones for the kids, like the armband ones. It's really late in the season because we're already like Monday is August 1st, so today is Saturday, so I just found the ones that hold the drinks. So I got 2, so I thought this would be so cute. And then, because it is the full beach thing, I did grab a pack of these umbrellas. You get, this was from Dollarama, you get 15 of these little mini drink umbrellas for $1.25. I do know how to make them with the cupcake liners and toothpicks. But I thought for $1.25 and they're already made, I mean, I don't know if I have these type of the really thin cupcake liners. I think I have some for Christmas, but it could be $1.50 to buy the cupcake liners, and I do have the toothpicks, but then if I didn't have toothpicks, it'd be another $1 or something for toothpicks. So I figured I was there, these are already made, $1.25, I get 15 already made. And then I wasn't quite sure, how I was going to do this, and walking through the Dollarama, I found these for $1.25. They're 18. They're the little ice cube things, and these ones shaped like flamingos. I was thinking I might use these for the gnomes, have them holding like a little drink in their hand shaped like a flamingo, and I'd probably just glue a little chunk of a straw on here or something. And I wasn't quite sure if I might drain the liquid, because I think if I put hot glue on here to glue the straw, it might melt the plastic. So if I do decide to use these, I might drain the water that's in these. So first things first is I'm just going to move my camera down so you can see. Oops, just a sec. All right, so I've got the pool noodle. I'm just going to take the price tag off. And I'm using my nice, well-used, trusted kitchen knife. This is for slicing bread, but it's a stainless steel handle, stainless steel blade. I use this to cut everything. And when I say everything, I mean it cuts carpet, underlay, vinyl, sticky squares, foam. So I think everybody has one of those kitchen utensils that you use for everything, even if you shouldn't do that. And I'm just going to open up these socks quickly too. I just want one sock. I hadn't quite decided, like how big the gnomes are going to be, so I gotta open up these because I was trying to figure out how I was gonna because I was going to buy the armband, little kids floater armbands. And so when I saw these, because I couldn't find those other ones, this one actually holds the drink. I haven't opened them up. I don't know how big they really are. Let's see. I'm hoping that this opening here is big enough to go, the pool noodle will fit in, and it does. So I thought I'd hold your drink. It should hold the pool noodle. Then I wasn't quite sure when doing this, because everything was just in the package, how I was going to do the feet. So I decided I'm not going to give my gnomes feet. They're just going to be from the waist up. So first thing, I guess I gotta blow this little thing up just so I can see how big this will be, and it'll give me the height I will need for the gnome. Okay, so put the pool noodle in. So I'm just going to be basically, the gnome will just be from the waist kind of up. So I think, so we want the gnome to be able to see over top of the flamingo. So the flamingo is about here, but we want him to see, so I'll go up to about here. And then I want them two different heights because I want the girl and the boy. So I'm just going to see how big I cut this. This is about 20. So I'm just going to even this out just a little. So this would be 21 inches. Yeah, this is 21 inches. Or no, I mean 21 centimeters. Sorry, I'm reading my thing wrong. And then how many inches? Okay, inches are on this side. Okay. That would make more sense if I say it's about 8 1/4 inches. So 8 1/4 inches or 21 centimeters. So I do want to make a second because I want to make a male and a female. So let's see. So if I make this one. Do I want to make it bigger or smaller? Let's see. I'm going to put this in here and just see. I don't want to make it too much smaller. Just putting a little notch there. I might just make one smaller. I'm going to see where that notch would go to. Yeah, that'll be 7. So I think, yeah, I'll make the other one, I'll do the other one 7 inches. Lay this down here and then cut out where the 7-inch would be. There. I just got to even this side out. Just a little crooked. Just get rid of the extra. So there we've got the two gnomes' height. So he's just a little over an inch taller. As you can see, it's not perfectly straight. I'm not quite worried about that, but there. So there's my two gnomes. And I will just double check the size. I'll just grab them and lay these back down and just double check that that is right. So he's at, yeah, he will be 8 1/4 inches. And she will be 7 inches, but it's still a little bit. There's one little chunk that just doesn't want to come off. It's okay. Just trying to make it a little flatter so it will stand. So I guess I'll have to make this the top because I can't seem to get that one chunk to come off. It just wants to. Doesn't want to go flat. Okay, so 8 1/4 inches and 7 inches. So that's the two height of my two gnomes. So they should look good. So that one looks like that. This one looks like this. So they'll still, you know, be able to see over top of here, I guess, maybe. Hope. Oh well. That's okay. I'll make it work. If I have to make it, I can always just put something in here and make the gnome sit a little bit higher. I guess I should have actually measured the socks because that's a really important thing too, is how high up the sock is going to go. So this is the See, the sock just covers that perfectly. There's a little bit of a gap right there. That's okay because I'll have to straighten out the sock anyways. Same with this one. Just gonna give the sock a little tug and just put the sock on. And of course, this one covers it all the way because it was a bit shorter. I'm just going to level out the sock just to get a nice, just make it look nice and smooth. So she's got this nice flower bathing suit, so you can see how she will look. And then he's going to have the striped bathing suit. So this is the back. The heel is the back. This is how the lines are all kind of a little crooked. Stick this one in and you can see. So we got the base of the gnomes. Now we're just ready to add, you know, make their hat. Now I've decided to make their hats not the standard pointy hat. I'd seen this tutorial of this lady and she actually made them like a bucket hat. So I'll be right back. I just got to grab the thread and needle and I will be right back and we will make them each a bucket hat. All right, I haven't even gotten my supplies. I was just sitting here playing around with a few things. I have this other pool noodle. It's in really rough shape. It was in the playhouse, so my animals have chewed it. I'm thinking some other little outside critters have chewed it, but it has the nice flower shape. And I actually bought this pool noodle quite a few years ago when I was making little floaty boats with my day home kids. They love the shapes of these ones. And so I've got one left. It's got this shape. Actually, what it was I saw this little chunk sitting here and I'm like, oh, this looks like a little armband. So I said it'd be cute to, you know, give them a little armband. And then I remembered I've got the one with the flower sitting here. And I said that'd be kind of cute for the little armband floater things. And then I was just playing around and saying, well, I've got their little drinks. I said, well, these little floaty things were supposed to be for your drinks. So I said it'll be kind of cute if, you know, make them look like they got a little drink holder. So I cut them to the right size, I thought, but the problem is then it doesn't stand because the legs of the flamingos are quite tall. And so to get one where you could have it sitting and it's just that thick and it's like this little thicker than I want it to be, because I just want them to be thin, so like this. But you can see the legs kind of sticking out, so when you set it down, then it pops it out. So I took one, still full of a little bit of the water, and I just cut the little tip of the foot off, and it fits in there perfectly. Oops. And then I've got the little umbrellas, and I said he's wearing a green outfit and she's got the yellow and orange flowers, so I made them a little drink floater thing because I was trying to figure out how I was going to incorporate having them hold this with the flamingo. I'm like, well, you wouldn't be able to see it unless they're sitting in the flamingo sideways. I still might do that. You can still have them sitting sideways in the flamingo and holding the drink, but I thought it might not, you know, you might not be able to see it as well. This way the little drinks could just kind of, you know, like sit on here right beside them. Oops. Of course, when they're glued together, they won't fall apart like that. So I'm just going to open up this umbrella and see. Sometimes you can open these, sometimes you can't. There, oops. Open it too far. Just gonna fix that. So their umbrella, and attach that to there. So they've got their drinks beside them. That would kind of look kind of cute. I know, I'm just playing around with things. You know, just you see something, you start playing around with things and just getting ideas. So I will be back to make the little bucket hats. Okay, I've got my fabric that I've got different ideas for what kind of hats to make them. So I've got some of these pinks ones. They've already been cut up because these were the extra colors when I made my sewing machine cover. So these were the two other patterns that I didn't like the way it looked when it was all laid out. So this is very light pink and it's got some little white swirls through it. And this is a little bit darker pink and it's got some more little swirls through it. Now these ones, don't think I like the color with the orange with the pinks. So I'm not going to use that one. I'm just going to show you what kind of what materials I have. I've got this one here. It's so cute. I got this for $3 or $2.99 at Valley Village. I don't quite know, just a small little sample size. I don't know the size. I don't do fabrics. I don't know sizing of fabrics, but it's got these cute little bees all over it and their wings glitter. I've got an idea for a project for this. I just haven't had time to make it. Then I've got these stack of material here. I got these at one of the dollar stores. I don't know if this was from Dollarama or Dollar Tree. This was about 2-3 years ago. I don't remember anymore. So I've got this pattern here. I got this pattern. This one here, this darker one, and this really light, fluffy one, or like fluffy feather. Looks like feathers all over it. Can't speak. And I have these ones here that I know because these are Crafter Square fabric. So these ones I do know I got from the Dollar Tree. So I got the watermelon, flamingos, lemons, palm branches, the bumblebees, strawberries, and pineapple. So I'm thinking for his hat, because he's just in green, I'm going to do I haven't quite decided. I'm going to either do the palm or the pineapple. I might do a mix of the two. I haven't quite decided. And then for her, because she's got these nice flowers, which one was I going to do? Oh, this one here. I was going to use this one here just because it's such a light color. So it's got that off-white here. The sock has a bit of the it is white. It's hard to tell maybe on camera, but it's a little bit of an off-white. And so I just think that will work perfect because she's got a big, bold pattern on her body. So just something kind of fun and frilly and light for her hat. So I'm going to do that. So now I'm just going to move the fabric. Now that I know which ones I'm going to be using. So now I just got to make my quick template for these. So I'm just going to grab a little insert cardboard from the little Flamingo drink holders and a pen, and I don't have any pens beside me. So just one moment. Hey, sorry about that. I cleaned up my craft room. I took everything out, took everything down to the basement, sorted it out, put everything in bins, brought everything back up. I guess I don't have any pens, pencils, anywhere in my craft room, so I had to go all the way to the kitchen to find some. Okay, so we're gonna make a quick little template for the gnome's hat. So I'm just gonna do her. They'll be about the same size. So I'm just going to do a quick measurement here of around, so I get an idea. So I'm at 19 centimeters, or let's see, about 7.5 inches. So I'm just gonna write this because I'm gonna forget. And then we want to make, so that's just how we need it for this part to go around their head. And then I just got to see how far down do I want it to go. I think the brim, 1 inch brim would be pretty good, but let's see, 1 inch, yeah, we'll do 1 inch brim, I don't know. So I need a circle. Oh, well, I'm just gonna do this. You know what? I'm just going to take this. I'm just going to trace this. And then I don't really have to do much guesswork. So we got the circle part, and then we have to do the brim part. And see, I'm not one who makes patterns, so I'm not quite sure how to do a semicircle pattern, kind of like you would need for doing a lampshade. So again, you kind of want to do like the pattern will be like that. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna test this out and see if this will work, because I'm not somebody who does patterns, and usually if I'm sewing, I sew straight, you know, just straight lines, or if I do patterns, I have, you know, I'll buy a pattern. So to actually think I'm gonna actually make myself a pattern, that seems interesting. But I'm just gonna see. So I just want to make a brim. I just want to see. So I need to make, actually, that gives me half. So that will actually work. I'm kind of good at some of this visual, seeing how it's gonna do. I knew this was only half, so I'll have to cut out one circle, and then I'll have to cut out 4 of this pattern. So I'm just gonna do a quick measurement and see. So it was 1 inch, so it's about 1 inch. And that's about, yeah, 1 inch. And then it's a semicircle. And I don't really know how you're supposed to measure these little semicircle things, but it's just a little over 4 inches. I don't know. I'm not somebody who does a lot of sewing. Actually, I'm just gonna grab, I know I have string right here. Let's see. And I'm just gonna do this because it's in a semicircle pattern, and it lays out, yeah, so 5. So it's 5 inches for the bottom, 4 inches up here, and then 1 inch on the side. And then this circle, it's 2.5 inches. And so for the hat, you need 1, for each hat, you need 1 of the circle and 2 of this. So now I'm just gonna lay this out on the fabric, and I'm going to trace this out on my fabric. And this fabric here gives me this nice, feel a nice cardboard here. I saved this cardboard for various things. It's a nice, it's not a strong cardboard, but that would be a good one if I was gonna make the gnomes and do a cone hat or something, if I wanted to do, because sometimes some material I make for their hats is a little bit thinner and I want some sturdiness to it, so this would be good. Also good for making other templates. This is the first time I've ever made this type of a template, and I have to say I'm actually really proud of myself, because I'm not somebody who makes a lot of templates. So I just want to lay this out so I can use the least amount of fabric as possible, because I always watch people doing these things and they lay the fabric out and they cut right in the center. I always like to try to make mine and use the least amount of fabric as possible. I do actually have, I'm just gonna grab that because I did actually buy myself a set of the fabric chalk. Yeah, I bought these recently. I paid, I think they were $2.20 or $2.40. I don't know, just this little dollar store we have, and they've got some really interesting pricing sometimes there. So I don't remember what I paid for these, but they were $13 to buy a set to buy one from Walmart, and I saw these for under $2.50 for a set of 2 at this other dollar store, so I grabbed them. So I'm going to actually use them today. I was trying to use regular chalk on the fabric and it did work okay, but I thought, no, I'm gonna actually have these, so I might as well actually use them. I'm just gonna retrace. Yeah, kind of see that. And I'm gonna put this one here. Oops. Of course it moved on me. There, so I'm going to be tracing a few more of these out. So I need to cut out one of these and 4 of these for each hat. So when I get them all traced and cut out, I'll be right back. Okay, so I got all the pieces cut. I've got them laid out on my ironing board. I've ironed them, but they're so thin. I didn't quite realize how thin the material was until I started actually cutting it out. And I was looking for my, that fabric stiffener, I forget what it's called. I had used it on my sewing machine cover. I couldn't find it, but I have this one piece of this really thick felt. It's thicker, it's got the glitter in it. These were $1. Yeah, these were at Dollar Tree. I think there are 2 for $1.25. I think that's what I paid for them, something like that. So I'm going to cut out just a few of the shapes because I'm going to be, these will be back to back. So I only need one piece of felt to go in between every 2 squares, or every 2 sheets of for the bucket hats. So I have to cut out 2 circles and 4 of the other side pieces. So I'm just going to go quickly cut those out, and then I will be back and we'll put all the pieces together and make the gnomes bucket hats. Okay, so I've got all the hat pieces laid out. I've actually got the girl's hat with the piece of felt, and I've glued the 2 pieces of fabric on both sides. So I've got all 3 pieces of her hat ready to stitch and turn it into the little bucket hat. So I'm just going to finish up his. So I'm just using this all-purpose clear glue. I'm not sure where I got this. I know I got it from one of the dollar stores. There's nothing on here that would say which dollar store, so I think I may have got this at Dollarama, not Dollar Tree. I don't know, one of the 2. But for a bottle this size, I think it was from Dollarama. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the felt. And I'm just taking a paintbrush just to spread the glue all the way to the edges. So I found this fabric was just so much thinner than I was expecting. Like, I knew it was thin, but it was just a lot thinner than I thought. I'm just going to glue this. Need a little more glue. Didn't quite put enough glue on. I'm gonna make sure it gets all the way to the edges. There. That's better. So that's all it is. It's just the one piece of fabric, the felt, and then the other piece of fabric. I'm just going to do the same for the other two pieces here. This glue does take a while to dry, so I did this earlier today, and I wasn't expecting it to take this long for it to dry. But it's just taken, some of those pieces for her hat are still a little tacky. I don't know, my house is just super hot. I really thought they would dry a lot faster than they did, but that's okay. Put the fabric on here. Oops. Gotta get it smooth. I don't want little wrinkles in it. I've got his hat glued together, so I'm just going to let these pieces dry. So I'm just going to set those aside, and I'm going to work with her pieces. And I've already gone and just trimmed off some of the extra fabric, just making sure that it's all neat. And all the extra fabric is trimmed off. And the two pieces are pretty close to the same size. It's a little tricky to get them the exact size. I think this one I can just trim this just a little bit, just make this a little straighter there. So I got these two pieces here for the brim. Both sides are done. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with to finish off these edges. I'll figure that out when I get the hat put together. And there's the top of her hat. So I'm going to do the really colorful pattern is going to be the outside of her hat. The lighter one is the inside. And I'm just deciding which, again, I want the really dark to be the outside or the one with the most pattern. So, okay, so now I've got it. Just want to make sure I'm laying it down correctly. So I've got the underneath side facing me. So I just gotta grab the my sewing needles. Just give me 1 second because I thought they were, oh, I just moved them. So I'll be right back. My needle came unthreaded. Okay. I was gonna stitch these up with the sewing machine, and then I thought, you know, such a small little thing to stitch. I'll probably just do it by hand just because it's so tiny. I don't think it's going to take long to stitch these two hats together, but I'm going to just try. Pop some of this extra bit of tail. I've just got my tail a little longer. So I'm going to start by stitching these two brim pieces together. I'm just doing a basic little stitch here. I don't even know what it's called. Oh, these are brand new needles. I just bought them. Oh, that really hurt. Okay, just going to stitch. So I'm just going to stitch these two together. I don't know how long this is going to take me. I'm having trouble seeing. I don't have very good light. This is going to take me a few minutes. I'll be back when I get these two. I'm just stitching this side, and then I'm going to also stitch this side. So I'm just going to stitch these two brim pieces like this. So I'll be back when I get these two pieces stitched together, because I'm not quite sure how long it's going to take me. Actually, I pulled it and my thread snapped, so I've decided I'm not going to do hand stitching as small as this is. I'm actually just going to bring them over to my sewing machine. So I'm just going to sew them on my machine. The hand stitching is just the thread snapped, and then when I pulled too tight. I pulled the knot through when my thread snapped. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna stitch these up on the sewing machine. So just give me a couple minutes to set my sewing machine up, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I brought my sewing machine over to my table here instead of being over at the sewing table. I've got my ironing board set up, and it was just kind of hard to get over there. So I'm going to do these. I was just double checking this one to where I want the top. So this one, I'm going to have the dark pineapples on the outside, so I guess all the yellow will be on the inside, just so I know how I'm stitching this together. This one here, I've got all the bright pink colored on the outside, and the less pink ones will be on the inside. So I'm just going to, first thing is just to stitch the two brim pieces together. I think that'll be the easiest, just to kind of make that. I'm not quite sure. I don't know, this might actually be harder if I do this and then try to stitch this on. I don't know, but I'm just going to start by stitching these two together and then just stitch this on and then do the last brim piece. Thinking that'll be the easiest way to do this. So I'm just going to get these lined up on my sewing machine. And I'm just going to figure out where the needle will be. And I'm just going to do the zigzag pattern. I'm just trying to make sure, because this is this new sewing machine, so it's, can we bring this over here? I'm just going to take it off the thing for a second. I'm just going to take my camera so I can see what I'm doing, and you can see what I'm doing. So this sewing machine, it has this display here, and so I just have to make sure I've got this all set to what I want. So I just want a normal zigzag. So right now it says the position is 2.5. I'm not sure. I don't know. It says it's on J. I'm trying to figure this out again. I don't have the manual in front of me, but I want the zigzag. So I'm just going through here to find the right. So I think I want the number 5. So I just have to see. I don't know, see, that's changing here, that's not changing. Okay, okay, there. I had to press these. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember how to use this. So it's these buttons here are changing the stitch. So I want 5. So this is the one I want to do. So I want to do this zigzag to put the two brim pieces together. So number 5 is what I got. So I've got this set up to number 5, and I'm not going to touch these. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So it's all set up. We'll get to sewing. Okay, so I'm just going to bring my sewing machine back to where I can see it. Got these lined up. So there's my presser foot thing. Okay. Should work now. There's the little thing back here, cuts off the thread. There. It's a little flimsy, so I think I'll do it again. It's actually, the stitches are really loose, so I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna undo these stitches. I'm gonna redo that, but I'm gonna do the same. I think I'm just gonna, yeah, because it's not as tight as I want it to be. I don't think I had the thread pulled tight or something, I'm not sure. But I'm going to just snip this thread and redo that. Try this again. Okay, just take the thread off and redo that. Another thread snap too. Okay. I will be back when I get, there's no, you just saw me do it. I just have to do it again. So I'm just going to stitch these two brim pieces for both the hats back in place. And when I get that done, then I'll be back. And hopefully I'll have my thread in here tighter because it's snapped on me, I guess, or pull, I don't know. So I will be right back. Alright, so I got both the brim pieces stitched. So now I'm going to stitch this onto here, just making sure I get this as the outside. I want to stitch from the inside. So I'm going to just figure out where I'm going to be starting. Fold this just so I get a little, just hard to get this to line up with this, so I'm just putting a little bend in here just so I know where my starting point is. So I'm just going to start stitching this all around now. Hope this works. Oops, the thread's stuck. You know, I think I might just stitch, I don't know. See, when you're not a sewer and you're trying to figure this out, like made my own pattern and now I'm trying to get this to stitch it together. I'm just gonna start stitching and see what happens. Trouble getting this to go back around. It's up a little. Just trying to get this to go back under. There. I think I've, the next one will probably be a little easier. I'm not good at this. I think I should have sewn both those pieces together. Probably be so much easier, so I think I'll do for the next one. Here. Actually, it looks like a bucket hat, but because of the way I stitched it, I've got to stitch. What did I do here? Okay, I've got to stitch these pieces together. So I'm going to have to. So even though I wanted the orange on the outside, the way it got all pulled and it kind of. I guess the orange will be on the inside and you'll have the yellow pineapples on the outside. That's fine. I don't care. I'm just really proud of myself that I actually made a bucket hat. So I'm going to have to now stitch these pieces together. So this one, I'm actually going to stitch these ones together first and then do the whole hat. Pieces lined up. Something's wrong. Doesn't want to go under. Okay. Let's try that again. Let's try it from this angle, because for whatever reason it just did not want to move. What did I do? I don't know what I did. This happens to me a lot too. The thread just comes right out of the needle. I don't know why. So none of that stitched. The thread just falls right out of the needle. I always thought it was my other machine always did that, or it was cheap thread. This is a new machine and this thread I'm using is like a $12 spool of thread. So it must be I must be doing something. I don't know what. I can't even get this to thread now. There. Okay, we'll try this again. I'm going to cut this loose thread because this always is one of the things that I always mess up on is if I don't clip some of these loose threads while I'm stitching then I end up getting loose threads everywhere, caught in everything. So now I'm going to stitch this inside. I'm just going to do a little fold here, same with I did the other one, just so I've got a little bit of the point right where the point is here, just to kind of help me, give me some guidelines, I guess. Now I'm just going to slip this back under here, and I'm just going to start stitching this around. Tiny thing to work with. All I can say is I'm really impressed with myself that I'm actually like taking the time to teach myself new things. I've never sewn anything like this before. I've never sewn any circular things. I've never made a template, so this is all new for me. So let's see what we got here. There. I'm going to cut those loose threads, and I'm going to flip her hat the right way. Let's see. Flip her hat the right way, and we'll see what kind of a bucket hat I've created. And there's her little bucket hat. So cute. I've got one little spot here where the stitch kind of, where it pulled funny, so I got a little spot there, which I can just fix that in a second. And then I've got this one here. I gotta finish his little hat here, so I'm just going to slip this in here and stitch these together. There's his hat. It's all stitched. I'll snip the threads in a second. So now oh, excuse me, got the hiccups all of a sudden. I'm just going to get her hat, slip it under here, and just fix this one little corner here. Just slip it here. There, her hat is fixed. That little gap is gone. So there is her bucket hat, and there is his bucket hat. I'm just going to move the sewing machine out of my way for a second. I'm just going to move my camera back in front of me. Okay, move the microphone out of the frame. Okay, so I'm just going to clip all the loose threads here. I'm surprised I didn't get any loose threads caught in my machine. I usually do. That's why I try to trim them off after every stitch, or every line of stitching I do. I try to trim off all the excess little pieces. Oops, I'll bring him over here. So there is his little, let me just move my camera up so you can see. So there will be his little bucket hat. And then I'll bring her over. Just gotta trim off these little pieces here. And there's her little bucket hat. I still have to do some finishing because I don't like the rough edge because doesn't look so nice. You can see if I would have stitched a little bit closer inside, if I would have had the two seams a little bit closer, they'd probably have a larger brim, but I've never sewn anything like this, so I'm kind of really impressed with myself that I did this. See, I've got a lot closer to the edges, so I don't know if it made it easier having these stitched together or doing it after, but I'm going to flip his this way just so you can see how the inside looks, because I really wanted this to be the outside, but the way I had just started stitching, it just was not looking good. So it's got this, but flip it this way. That looks a lot better. And same with hers. I'll flip it in the wrong way so you can see like the big gap here. If I would have gotten these a little bit closer, they would have a larger brim. But I've never stitched anything like this, so I think it looks okay. I might decide to make the gnomes just a little bit shorter. I might just play around with the height, because I don't really, now that I've got their hats on, I know where their heads are going to be. So I'm not too much shorter, but maybe just a little. She's good. Well, maybe I'll just leave them. Because if I start cutting down the pool noodle, I'll lose some of my shape that I've got here. So next I'm going to do his beard. So that's the next thing I have to do, is I have to make his beard. Now, I usually do it in white, and I couldn't find my white faux fur. I've got another option, is I can just go and grab one of the faux furs beards off one of my other gnomes that I've made in the past. But I do have the brown. So I don't know if I'm going to like the brown. I have not made anything with this brown faux fur. This trim I got from Dollarama for $4. I paid a lot for this one. It wasn't my favorite color, but I'm like, I thought I could do something, something unique with it, like having a gnome with a different color beard. Not always just the standard white would be kind of fun, I thought. So I'm just going to decide how long do I want his beard to be. I guess to about here. I'm just going to cut myself a good chunk of beard. I just had my scissors. Oh, there they are. Just give him a nice looking beard. It's going to be more than I need. I can tell that's more than I need, but that's okay. I like to sometimes cut the beards a little bit bigger than I need, especially when I go to trim them down into like a nice tapered look. So if I just stick this all the way up here. Of course, I cut from the front, and you never cut the fur from the front. I don't know. I just grabbed the scissors. I usually use my X-Acto knife so you prevent all this fluffy stuff being everywhere. But I just kind of want to get this done. So now I do want it in a tapered. So I do have a pencil. Oh, there's the pencil. But sometimes I do this where if I know I want it tapered, if I just take my pencil and I just give myself a guidelines. I can't even see the pencil. I don't know, I thought I had something. I thought I had a Sharpie here. I was using a Sharpie earlier. I don't have a Sharpie. I must have put it back in the kitchen when I was done with it. Okay, well, so just press harder. And same with up here. If I just kind of give myself this tapered look so the beard isn't just so straight. So I kind of just draw some pencil lines, and then I'll grab my X-Acto knife and I will just cut slowly from the back, just kind of around, so it's not so stiff and straight. There, so there's my kind of lines. I don't know if you can really see them, but I made them as dark as I can. I can see them. Some of the ones down here I can't really quite see, but I'll know where to go based on the lines above and below that, just so I get a nice, more like an oval type of a shape, like will be really pointed down here and a little bit more rounded in the center. And then for her, I like to do my girl gnomes with braids in their hair. So I've got two types of stuff. I've got this fuzzy yarn here, which I've done lots of my gnomes with this really fuzzy stuff. This was the nice big chunky yarn I got from Walmart. They were about, I think they were like $10 each or $12 each now. I don't know. Walmart's pricing kind of has gone up. So I had to buy another one recently. So I think they're between $10 and $12 for a big bundle of it. This is what I've left from one. I made a whole bunch of Christmas decor with this last Christmas. And then this is the one I really like. This one here was from the dollar store, Dollarama. So I think I paid $3 or $4 for this nice big bunch of it. And I like this because it's the faux fur trim, but it's really fine. And I like this for my girl gnomes. Some of this has gotten stained with things sitting here in the craft room. So I'm just going to grab a nice piece from the other side that's not stained, and I'm going to bring her over. I'm just going to leave her standing in here. It's actually really nice to be able to have this where they can stand. I'm just deciding how long I need her hair. So when I do the girls, I do like to bring the hair to come right over top of here, because then I can kind of glue this down and it will kind of look like their bangs. So I do like it to be, so I like their hair to be quite long. And then when I figure out how long I want her hair to be and where I want it to sit, and I get to decide, you know, like this to read about there, it looks about even. If it's not quite even, when I glue it on, it will be more even, or I can always just trim it. And I get to decide, do I want her to be single hair? Do I want to do a braid or multiple strands? Let's see, I'm just gonna look at her hat and just decide with her hat. Let's see. I think I might just do multiple strands with her and then not do braids, but I just do a whole bunch of strands. So I think I'll do like 4 or 5 strands. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strands. Okay, I'll do 5 strands. And then just snip there, and then one more up here, snip there. Make sure they're all loose. We got 5. So then her hair is just going to be just loose sitting with her hat like that. And then I just gotta go and I've got to plug in my hot glue gun. So I gotta let my glue gun plug in and heat up, and I gotta grab the wooden beads, and then we'll glue all this stuff together and we'll finally have the gnomes finished. So I'll be back in just a few moments. All right, so I'm gonna start by gluing her top of her outfit on. So I didn't do that yet. Just gonna glue it on, I'm just kind of pressing this into the center up here just to kind of cover up the top of the pool noodle. And there goes her nose. That's okay. So I'm going to start with her hair here. So I said I'm going to put her hat on just so I know kind of where I want her hair to fall. So I'm going to have like her bangs and stuff kind of come to about here. So I'm going to glue around here on each side like that. So she's kind of got these like bangs. So I'm going to use this part here, the toe part of the sock. So I think that will work because that will give me the right amount of bangs for her. So I'm just going to glue right along the strip right here. Find out where the center is, just so it's a little bit even, like that. So that'll be the first bit of her bangs. I'm just going to glue all the 5 strips right above here. Oops, not touching what I've already glued in place. See, and then her hair will come down. And then I will glue these side pieces in place once I get her bangs all up here, kind of glued where I want them to sit. So it took 3 to fit in that space for her bangs. So when the hat goes on, then you've got all her bangs and the hair coming down. I still have 2 more because I do like to give them extra hair. So I'm going to have the 2 I'm going to put right up here. Glue gun's not really working good tonight. So I'm going to glue this just right up here like this. And I'm going to glue 1 more right on top because I want all this hair on the side. One more across the top up here. Right like that. So now she's got 5 strips of hair on both sides and her bangs, and then the little hat. Just trying to figure out which way I want it to be at the front. I think I like this one at the front. So I'm just going to put some glue inside this rim part. And some right in the center, and just push it down right like that. So there's her hat, and then her nose, which I can see. It just fell right by my foot here. I'm just going to stick that just right under where her bangs are. There, so now she's got her nose and her bangs and her hat, and she'll sit in here, and I'll do the rest of her hair in a second. I'm just going to let that glue kind of dry, and I'll work on him. I'm just going to set that aside. So now I've got his fur here, and I've got my guidelines as to where I was going to cut this out. Of course, this exact knife thing just doesn't want to work tonight. It's okay, you just have to go very slowly. through it kind of slow. This one's not working. I'm just going to go grab the other X-Acto knife. I hope this one is sharper. And if not, I also grabbed the rotary cutter. So just pull it apart between my fingers here and just go around. And it slowly cuts through. So I'm just slowly going through the back, and then I can just kind of tear some of that extra stuff off as I cut it through. So then I can just kind of pull the beard, just kind of do that, and it's not so straight looking. So from the back you can see this is cut straight, this has got more of that curved look to it, so then you just fluff it out. And on this side you can see how it gets all these little wispy light hairs here. Try not to breathe the little hairs in though. There. So I just got to do the same to the other side. I'm just going to keep going around my lines that I've made. So I'm just doing little tiny, just as I tear it, as I pull it apart, the little knitted stuff just slowly getting through there, just very slow, and then it just kind of comes apart. I'm just slowly doing this. I don't quite know how long it's going to take me to do this beard. A little more on this side gone. Just pull it apart and then sit from the back, just kind of do this, and you get all these nice wispy pieces. And then from the front, his beard is all nice and wispy looking. Just gonna do another little bit right here, just get a little more trimmed off. Down here a little more rounded on the other side. A little more, because now here it hasn't, a little more square here now. I'm just going to make this a little more rounded. This is what usually happens One side gets really round and then the other side you have trouble evening it out. I'm going to stop like that because if I keep going I'm just going to mess this up and then it's not going to look like a nice beard. And I'm just going to, on this side, just brush it backwards. Just get some of this extra fluffy stuff off and then I'm just going to give it a couple shakes. And we got his nice beard. It's all nice and wispy looking. And I'm going to glue. Oops. Stop to the pool noodle because I didn't do that yet today. I'm just going to see if I can get some of this sock to also get pushed down into the hole of the pool noodle. If I can. If not, that's okay. Glue this piece down. Just going to use the handle of the X-Acto knife to kind of hold this in place and push it down into the hole. I'm just going to set his hat on so I can figure out the placement of his beard here. Just right like that. So I gotta glue his nose on first because I always make the beard go around his nose. His nose right there. And I've got the glue right here. I'm just going to the beard to kind of go up around the sides of the nose. And then glue his hat on, and there he is. Like a big chunk of glue where I didn't want it, and I pulled, just kind of got his hat stuck where I didn't want it. Just using the X-Acto knife to kind of peel that glue off because that's not right where I wanted it to stick. Beard is a little longer than I wanted it, so I'm just going to trim I didn't want to do that, but I need to trim that off just at the very bottom because it's going to get stuck when I go to put him in the little floater. There. So we got this. Just flipping up his beard a bit. And here she is. So I just got to fix her hair. Just gonna find some nice ribbon or something and tie her hair up with a little bow. He's done. Now I just have to find something to put around the brim of the hat just to finish it off. And so I had seen, I have some of this jean strips here. So let's see. I don't like that. I think I'll just have to go and grab some ribbon and put a little bit of ribbon around both the hats. I should have done that before I glued them on. So I'll be right back. I'm just gonna get some ribbon for her hair, and then some ribbon for their hats. And then I will be finished. Alright, so I'm gonna finish his hat off first. I found this little bit of this paper ribbon. Kind of looks like a braid. I think this would be perfect for around his hat. Not quite sure how long I'm going to need. So maybe I'll just keep them in here. Seems to be an easy way to do this. I'm just gonna put some on here. I'm just going to start here at the back. Just kind of work my way around here just to kind of finish this unfinished edge up. There, so his hat is finished. It looks really good. He's almost finished. Set him aside. I'm gonna do her hat. I found a little piece of this trim, and it's like the burlap, but it looks like little hearts. I think this is the perfect trim for her hat. I'm going to do hers a little different. I'm going to actually just put the glue on the ribbon and then push it down. Just going to figure out which way looks like the outside and which way is the inside. This ribbon's a lot thinner, easier to work with. It's working a lot easier than the other one. It's not as stiff. Just work slowly, then I can get this to just go right around the edge of her hat. And there's such a small amount of this ribbon here. I'm just going to use up this whole little strip, and I'm just going to take the last little bit and I'm just going to overlap a little bit more of this ribbon just to finish it off. So it's a little bit thicker at the back, but that's okay. Just last little piece of ribbon I had of that one. So now for her hair, I was trying to find, I couldn't find any orange, but I have pink ribbon. So I got a little piece of this pink ribbon left, and I have 2 of these nice little tulle flowers with a little embellishment in them. So I'm just going to take this ribbon, I'm just going to fold it in half and just get 2 even pieces out of it. I'm just going to even up this side here, cut this straight across, and then I'm just going to loosely just glue this in the hair like that. So I'm just going to cross the 2 pieces and I'm just going to glue them in her hair like that. Just got to turn it my way so I can just see. I'm just going to put a glue all the way across the back of this whole ribbon. And I'm just going to slip, I don't want to glue there yet. I'm just going to slip it up here. I'm just going to, didn't want that to glue in yet. I'm just going to fold this like that, and fold this side like that. So just a very loose little ribbon bunch here. So it didn't quite work right. I'll try that again. That's not going to work. So I got this glued where I didn't want it to glue. Just gonna, one of those things, you get an idea and you think it's going to work, and you've done it before for other projects, but it's this type of stuff I'm using for her hair. Didn't really want to work. So I'm just going to line it up. I'm just going to hold it in place, and then I'm just going to put the glue where I need it now. The glue cord is stuck on something. There we go. Not working. Just getting glue all over my fingers, and it's not where I want it to be. So I'm just going to set that aside because this strip is just too long. So I'm going to take this one piece that I haven't done anything with, and I cut this piece in half. And I will try this again with a smaller piece because I just want it to kind of look like she's got her hair held with something. This will work better. Okay. It's also a smaller piece, so I can work with this a little bit easier and faster. Just bring it to there and bring this piece to here, just so that two pieces. Oops. Like that. That's all I wanted, was just something to hold it like that, and then I can just take this flower and just glue that right there. Like that, and I'm just going to do the same to the other side. Just have to fix this because I just pulled this ribbon, just kind of frayed it. Center of the ribbon, just flip it over and just kind of glue it so the two pieces of this ribbon kind of meet. And loosely, because I kind of want her hair to be kind of loose at the sides like that. And then where did the other flower go? There it is. Let's put some glue. Just glue it right there to kind of hide the seam. Like that. So now there is my little girl gnome. And then final step is, of course, their little drink holder that I had made earlier. So I just have to fix it. So I cut the little legs off, drained out the liquid. So now I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue down there where I had the umbrella sitting. I gotta fix his umbrella because it kind of came. Let's see, hers is the little thing. This one doesn't have that little piece that's holding the umbrella up. So I'm just gonna put a little dab of hot glue right where I want it to sit. So it will stay open. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down that hole and push the umbrella in. And then I'm going to take the flamingo. I'm just going to put glue on the legs. And push him into the center of the flower. And same with this one. I'm just going to put the glue all the way around and push this one into the center here, like that. So that's their little drink holders. And I was going to grab a straw or something to make it look like a straw, so they look like drinks. So I will be right back because I forgot to grab the straw. Alright, so for the straws I decided to use some pipe cleaners. So I've got 8 colors here. I'm just going to decide what would look good. So let's see, if I just take the pipe cleaners, I'm just going to twist this blue and green. That will give me a good pipe cleaner, or a good straw for his. Oh. Don't cut your fingers when you're cutting. And then for hers, I decided I'm going to do hers pink and orange. I'm just going to twist. Put these together. I've made more than I really need to make, but I just want to make sure that it will look like a straw. just a little dab of glue. I got hers down a little bit too. I'd rather make them too big and have to cut down than to make it too small and have to make another one. A little bit of glue there. And just press this in and hold it for a second. And now they've got their drinks. And then I'm going to glue their drinks beside them right on here. Oops. So I'm just gonna so there's her drink beside her, and then I'm just gonna grab him. See, they're going to sit side by side. I'll put his drink on the other side. For some reason my glue gun does not want the glue to come out. I'm just having trouble getting this to work. Move his drink on that side of him, and there we go. I've got my little beach gnomes all made. I hope everybody's enjoyed this tutorial of my little gnomes. It wasn't quite what I was going to make. I had the idea for making little beach gnomes. This turned out a lot better than I expected. It took me all day. It's a slow progress trying to make these sometimes. Having to wait for glue to dry and everything, and doing everything else I have to do during the day. So they are finally made. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's watched my videos, subscribed to my channels, and I guess I'll see you all in my next videos. Bye.